Okay, so my name is Tomas dos Santos Lara. I am in the 11th grade and I go to Riviera Preparatory Schools.
Awesome. Thank you. What
Yes.
happened that made you realize that you needed our service?
When I did my course over the summer for SAT, I realized that the math section was everywhere, right? There were obviously questions that I knew, but there are other questions that I'd look at and I was completely like stuck on. And I didn't really know where to start. I looked online, like I tried Khan Academy and I tried so many different things, but nothing really offered the explanation that I needed. So I looked out for like larger groups, like tutoring groups, and that's how I found Piece of Pie through some of my friends in the class, actually.
So you were doing like the tutoring, like prep for it. Um, and I mean, I know that the thing you were doing in the summer was just something that was already offered to you, right?
Yeah.
As part of like, your school. Even aside from that, were you at that time surprised at all with the current math score you had, or no? Did it make sense?
I was surprised. I thought it would have been higher because I thought I had, a level of like understanding in math, but then when it came to the SAT questions, it just like completely caught me off guard and it threw me off. And it was in that class that like I got a 550, a 540, I'm pretty sure, and it completely like blew me back. And so I was like, I need better understandings of these concepts.
So you were good at math in school.
I was good at math in school, but when it came to the SAT, I just blanked. Like the concept would just leave. This was this summer. So I had done Algebra 1. I had done well in school, but I didn't perform as well in the SAT.
And why do you think that?
I think it was a mix of pressure and also just like I needed a review, right? Because what I learned in school, so much time had passed and I'd been focusing on other subjects. I needed to settle down on math and cover everything I've learned so far. So
That makes sense. That makes sense. So you recognize that like as you were preparing and taking it, you were like, wait, pause. This is not we haven't gone over this in class in the past year or two. Like I took algebra one in, I don't know, seventh or eighth, right?
yeah.
Um, it's far back to remember. So all right. And then okay, if you hadn't improved your score, why would have that have been a problem for you?
Well, I always looked at the SAT as like something I had to do good in because I heard so many people talking about it. And my brother, who is 2 years older than me, like when he was in the 11th grade, 12th grade, everyone was focusing on the SAT. So I'm like, I have to do good in the SAT. And I realized that although math wasn't my strong suit on the SAT, it was the area I could improve the most on, right? Because once I understand the concept, I'm gonna do well on it. So I looked forward to math improving instead of English because I thought it'd be like,
With English, it's a different beast to improve on. You got to
yeah,
read more, and so you went for the more objective one,
yeah.
and the one that I guess you were stronger with. Let me word that a little differently in terms of what I meant. Like, why did you need to improve your score?
I wanted to reach that high score. I knew it helped me when I applied to college. And I also just for like the personal feeling of like knowing I did good and being able to tell others, oh, I got this score on my SAT.
So even
Yeah.
for yourself, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's that type of person that wants to do well, and once he does well, he wants to do even better and then better. So I think it's more of a personal challenge, and
Yeah.
knowing that
I want to like
he
prove
did.
to myself that I
Yeah,
can reach that score.
yeah.
Was it important for colleges too for you? Like, did the colleges that you had in sight, did they require a higher score?
Yeah, the colleges that I wanted to apply to definitely required a higher score. And it definitely in-state colleges, especially like in Florida, like they're around the 1400 level. So I wanted to get to that level so I can apply with it and just have that area covered.
Yeah, for real. And I guess in Florida too, like scholarships, right?
Yes, yeah, like the bright futures and all that. It boosted me a ton getting a higher score on the SAT. And the earlier I did it, the better.
That
So it
makes
was for like a personal reason of like proving it to myself, but also to you know, helped me a ton in the application process.
Yeah, to have
nice. Okay.
better options to choose from.
Right. Right. Okay. And then how'd you find out about us again?
I found out through two of my friends who were also taking the like summer course with me, and they would talk about stories about how they knew people who took the course and improved by like 100 points or improved by 150. They told me a story about these two kids at my school who competed, and they both took piece of pie, and one of them got a 760 and the other one got a 790. And that just like completely convinced me to join the program, because I was like,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Then he had to sell the idea to us, like, I want to do this course, and so it was an easy sell,
All
if you
right,
have
yeah.
a child or a son that wants to study, and what you have to do is just to put the money, you kind of, he sold it to me, I sell it to the rest of the family. Here we are.
When they're motivated, it's awesome. That's key. But okay, so you had heard about that, and like coming in, what was your expectation of the virtual group learning environment?
definitely I was nervous about it. I didn't really know how big the classes were going to be. I didn't know how the levels were going to be split up coming into it. And I hadn't really heard much, right? About I had a couple friends taking it, and they said the virtual classes were good, but like I didn't really get an explanation there. So I was nervous. I didn't know how interactive it was going to be with the teachers. I didn't know if it was going to be something that I like stay quiet for and they just explain the concept to me, like without much like, you know, explanation. So it was definitely nerve-wracking, but it was something I did want to try. And I thought it would be better than going in person, because in person would cost way more than being able to do it from like the comfort of my house.
Right. Okay. And then how would you describe your experience with it?
The experience for me online was amazing. I think like the fact that, again, I was able to sit in my house, but also be taught all these like topics so thoroughly, and like the teachers were super understanding. The classes were split amazingly. Like, there would be times in class where we'd all be working on a problem, but there'd also be like conversation between. I learned a lot from like all the other people taking piece of pie in my class as well. And also I found that I got placed every now and then with some of my other friends taking piece of pie. So it was something that like we were all shared. It was a very fun environment. It was also very engaging.
Cool, man. That's awesome. I'm glad. Did you had more than one teacher, or?
I switched between Mars and Corey in my classes.
Cool. So I'll give them a positive feedback.
From
Uh,
the family perspective, I think also, since the course is like long for like 3 months, we had some trips planned in between, that were during the time, and he was able to participate in the classes even though we were not at home. So I think that's also a plus for families, because they are in this course, they don't want to miss class, but at the same time you have things to do, and then you might have to travel or family engagements or things like that. So it's good that this format allows them to keep on with the
right,
classes.
right. Unfortunately, you gotta study even when we gotta make it happen, even when you're out and somewhere else. Best believe that if you were doing the course now, you'd be in Argentina right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit, but thankfully you don't have to. That's awesome. So Tommy, how would you describe the service to another student? Like, what should they know?
They should know that it's rigorous, right? You're gonna have to dedicate a good amount of time to this course, but it's fun. I mean, you guys are super supportive, right? You're bound to make mistakes, but those mistakes get explained. Everything is like taught to you, and it's something you should definitely take seriously, but have fun with, right? I found that like, if I was able to message the chat whenever I needed to, if I was stuck on a question, and like the packets that you guys gave to us was honestly like amazing. So I would just describe it as like a super supportive, engaging, and exciting course. I liked going through the packets, and the way you guys taught it and the way it built up was definitely like interesting to me, and it worked. So just overall very successful. I would say though to the person that they have to put in the work to receive the results. Like, you guys give us all the resources we need, but like, and it's something that like I knew, but I came more to realize towards the end that like the packets, the more practice you put, the better. And I mean, it just makes sense, right? You guys give us tons of questions, and there were times where you told us, oh, you don't have to do all of them, but from like, honestly, a suggestion I would give to anyone like join the course, do all of it. Like, although it could take 30 more minutes, it's gonna help 10 times more because it's just more reinforcement. It's super helpful.
You did all of them?
No, there were times where I definitely didn't do all of them, but at the end, I wish I could go back and just do all of my questions. It's super helpful.
Do as I say, not as I do. Like, maybe that's good advice. You went through it, now you're looking back and you're like, the times maybe where you did, you were like, oh wow, like that
Yeah,
was
the times I did, I noticed it helped, and it was. I mean, you guys give us all the resources, so why not use it?
nice, man. That's awesome. And Anna, how would you describe it to another parent? Like, what should the parents know?
Well, I think that the first meeting that we had where you explained to me how the program worked, I had an idea, but I really didn't get how intense the program actually is. I think that, sometimes, you are there and you are the one that's planning everything. But one thing I would like to other parents to know is that there is a big team of people helping. And the fact that you have this, chat that you create where the parent is part of the chat, and you see all the interaction that happens during the week between the student and the tutors, and how the student can ask questions, or the tutors are constantly there nagging the student, hey, where is your plan for the homework for this week? Or we haven't seen your this study guide or this homework. And you as a parent don't have to do anything, because you're there just seeing the interaction. But for me, it was good to know that that we are investing in a program, and the program is really very personalized, and it's really detailed. And I saw how Tommy was able to ask questions, and at any point someone would answer, and really right away. Like, sometimes it was impressive, like he was posting the homework, and a few minutes hour later is like, here's your feedback, please review, and specifically review these topics, the mistakes you have. So I think that the student doesn't have to waste time going through there is a lot of material, but there is also guidance from the tutors to say, hey, you need to focus on this, and maybe the student that's next to them has to focus on something else. So I am impressed. I think that if you have a motivated student, it's really going to pay off. If you have a student that it's halfway, it's also going to pay off. The results are going to be different, but you need to have the student buying in. I had an older son who did like more in one-on-one tutor, and it's good, but I don't think it gets to the intensity of this program. At the end, you end up paying 3 times more, because it's longer. Like he probably did it for like 8 months, and you start thinking that you're gonna pay for 3 sessions of math, and then it's like 30. So at least with this, you have a very solid program, and then you can, the students can continue studying on their own with all this material, even after the program is done. So I think it's a great program. Very happy.
Thank you. So yeah, bro, in 760, I mean, soon, I mean, on the next one, you never know. You still taking the test or no?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I reach 800, I'm instantly gonna message the chat, and I'm gonna like make it known. But I'm reaching that 800.
Let's go.
I was telling you don't have to take it anymore. And said, oh, I enjoy taking it. Okay, if you want,
if it makes you happy,
your way to spend your time, go for it.
I like that, man. That's awesome, dude. Wait, so I mean, I kind of jumped to it already, but I want to hear from you. Like, so ultimately, what result did we help you get, and what was the total improvement?
So I reached a 1450. I went from a 540 on my first math section to a 760. So I improved a ton. My goal when I first joined the program, if I'm correct, was I think around like a 730, 720, and I passed that goal, right? And I mean, it was amazing, right? Like opening the score and seeing that 760 there, knowing that I only got like 4 questions wrong, it was just an amazing feeling. And this score is definitely going to help me like relieve my stress over the following year, right? Because although I'm going to keep taking the test and I'm hoping to keep improving, at least I have like a landing, a nice like high score that I could go back to if anything. So
Yeah, like the worst case scenario is a 1450. Like, oh no. That's so good, dude. And I believe you when you say you're gonna get an 800. So, well, actually, so 2 people got an 800. One was during the course, but the other one is what you're gonna do, right? So they did our course in the summer, and they ended up with like a 750 or something, right? And they just kept studying, like your mom said, like we give you the material, you keep going, and they just kept studying on their own, and then they took it again. They got a 760, like 10 points. They were hungry, so they took it again, and then they got the 800, dude.
exactly, yeah.
So, and keep me in the loop, because if you didn't know, maybe you already knew, but if you didn't know, I'm always updating stuff, and I've been trying to pump out I think some really good stuff for the advanced kids. I mean, I feel like once it's done, I'm gonna get so excited that I'll hit you guys up anyways.
Okay.
It's a nice packet of like really challenging problems that I think that would have done it.
That I was looking forward to. When you told us like the day before that you were making that packet, I just wish I had like the opportunity to look
I
at it.
know. I
I
know.
was,
You will. You will.
yeah.
It's a very large packet, but I know you won't have an issue going through it. So, and it'll be exactly what I think a lot of you guys need to maybe get a bunch of 800s. I would love to see that. Then College Board would come after me or something. I don't know.
And so when are you planning on opening the English section of the course?
It
Do
is
you have,
open. It's been open.
did they have one for English? Okay.
Yeah. We opened, well, it's new, we opened it in the summer. We had one iteration there. I mean, the thing is that compared to the math, it's going to take a while to get to like, for example, our average improvement in math is like 150 this last prep, which is even way better than before, as it keeps getting better. But when we started the math back in the day, like the average improvement was like 80 points, 90 points. And that is good, like that's the thing I don't want people to misunderstand. It's like a 100-point jump is great. A 60-point jump is great. Like we've just kind of normalized because we get you guys to work so hard. That's the key, right? Like because of that and the material, that more and more kids go up even more. So for the reading, like in the summer, the improvement was like 50 points, and then it slowly has gone up closer to 60 average now. So hopefully it continues. My goal is by this summer to have it be like 100-point improvement on the English as well. And, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Question about the digital for the continued studies is like the information that I have now, the packs that I have now, is it going to differ much from the digital
No,
pack?
no. Definitely memorize everything in there because it's the same on the test.
Okay.
The only thing that you need to practice that's new is the actual digital format. So you're going to use the Blue Book app.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you took the PST, you already have it. And
Yeah.
So there's 4 real tests there, digital. You definitely want to take those. I'd probably wait a little bit to take them, save them,
Okay.
and just review intensely with like maybe take one to get a feel for it, and then save the other 3 for like a little bit later once you've like reviewed more and done all of like even the paper practice exams are still really good. And then maybe the packets once they're ready to go, the challenge packets, like do them like crazy, and then just do like maybe the 2 or 3 back to back, like we're leading into the real test, like I would say like in the last month leading into the test, maybe like 1 a week, just to be used to the format. But nah, man, you'll be good. You'll be good. And thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys coming on, especially on vacation. I guess, is there anything else we should know to wrap this up?
I mean, I love the course. Honestly, I was a little sad at the end that the course was ending because I mean, after like 3 months of like every week, like the work, and then on Saturdays, the classes, it was pretty fun. And I like talking to like the teachers. I like learning about like how everyone was doing. So it's a really engaging course. I think that everyone should do it, in my opinion, at least once. So yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, it got me the score that I wanted. I passed the goal that I needed. So it definitely helped. It definitely improved. And it's definitely something that like I'm gonna look back into in the future and just think about. So
That's
And
awesome, dude.
we have 2 more kids to put through college, so we'll see you again.
They better be ready.
Yes. Yes, keep making the course better and better.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
better.
for sure. That's the goal. That's the goal. More efficient and better. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you guys again. And I mean, we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch. I'll see you guys later.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.